Hi, this is Paul Beasley with GreatDad.com, and I'm here at another one of my series on the use of positive intelligence in coaching. And for those of you who haven't checked out my page, you can go to GreatDad.com/PQ for information on my positive intelligence program. But today I've got a really different approach to PQ with a couple of coaches, Dawn and John Sanders, who are both coaches who have a base in coaching practice, but then have done training in PQ recently on the side. So welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Nice to be here.
I'm really interested in hearing your approach because I've been doing tandem coaching with another coach, Cheryl Stahl, and I'm really interested in how the two of you are seeing the value of positive intelligence. Let's start first of all. What got you both into coaching? Since that's not. I'm sure it's not rare, but it isn't always that you see both. A couple who are both doing coaching.
Yeah, it's a short story or long story, depending on how many details we give you. But I was working at a nonprofit and was looking. I love, the giving back aspect has always been really important to me. Mm-hmm. And I started working with a coach, and this isn't the right fit for me, but I want to help others. And how do I do that? And through our coaching sessions, we decided that this was really a great role for me, is to go through the coaching certification program and become a life coach. Mm-hmm. And as I was going through the training for that, I told my husband, this is something that you are already doing. Just getting the certification, going through the training is just going to help grow the work that you're already doing. And so I started sharing with him some of the learnings that we were doing. And I think I had been working as a coach for only like 3 months before you jumped into your coaching training.
That's right. Yeah, it was about 3 months. He convinced me after listening to you coach and then convincing myself that actually being a coach versus an executive who tends to dictate and tell and direct, and that there's a big difference in just being an occasional coach and being a full-time coach. And so I drank the Kool-Aid, and it was really good, and I've been doing it ever since, the last couple of years. So
I think Paul, going through the coach training program, you need those hours. So having this person right here, he was my coachee for quite a bit of my coaching hours as I was building up my experience.
And vice versa, right?
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people do get into coaching because they had a positive experience with coaching themselves, and it isn't until really you get your coach that you see how valuable, important, different than therapy, and then how actionable coaching is versus some other things.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I've once we started really absorbing the whole positive intelligence and learning more about it, I was skeptical at first, to be quite honest. This is how you can fulfill your life and be a happy guy, a happy person. And so I was a little bit skeptical, as I usually am. But after watching Dawn go through it and watching what she was accomplishing with her coachees or clients, I realized, okay, I need to really dig into it. And I've been using it, ever since. It's been almost a couple of years now, as a basis for my leadership coaching, at least the saboteur assessment and talking about positive intelligence in general and things associated with positive intelligence, other speakers, other videos, et cetera. And so it's been, when I ask people who've been through coaching, or other people ask them, what did you enjoy the most? A lot of them say it was that whole positive intelligence and the saboteurs and understanding how I react and interact with people and how I can do it better. So.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you expressed some cynicism about it, because it does sound, when you first hear about it, there is a little bit of like, oh my God, what crazy thing am I getting myself into? There is a little bit of jargon that's kind of off-putting if you're not, already into this type of thing. Yep. But what really drew me, and what draws, I think, a lot of cynics, is all the recent science that really is the underpinnings to why it works and how much more we know about the brain. So how long have you been both coaching, and how long have you both been doing positive intelligence?
So I have been coaching for, I think, going on 5 years now.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was in the second cohort of positive intelligence. So I think I've been certified for getting close to 2 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And now it's been about 2 years for me since being certified. I was doing a little coaching before I got certified, and then full time after I got certified. And shortly thereafter, almost with me, shortly thereafter, it was right away into understanding and utilizing positive intelligence. So, yeah.
And so you're both using it separately, both life coach and executive coaching, but then you do some work together at Tandem Coaching.
Yeah. So one of the areas that, just to back up a little bit, as we were both going through positive intelligence and taking the coaching portion of that program, one of the things we realized right away is how our saboteurs are affecting our relationship. And, just my top two saboteurs that I have are a pleaser and a hyperachiever, where this guy is.
Well, a stickler, hyperachiever, controller. So, yeah.
And realizing how the stickler and the pleaser do not work well. I mean, I'd say not work well together, but it was so enlightening to see, I'm always trying to make nice, right? Because my pleaser saboteur wants everybody to love me. And with stickler,
I want to get things done, and I want them done my way, the right way. So it's there's potential conflict there. Plus, we look back over our marriage of almost 35 years now, and we realized over the periods of time what made us successful in getting through difficult times, which we all have. And a lot of it was just because we stuck with it and we were trying to be mindful of each other. And we realize now that if we had understood positive intelligence, we probably would have been a lot easier and been much simpler or easier to take your hand off the hot stove, as opposed to leaving it there for a day or two or a week or whatever. So
I think too, with our experience, we're both divorced. We both have children from a previous marriage, and then we got married and had two more.
Oh, well,
so yours, mine, and ours, blended family. So I think one of my biggest regrets is not being able to manage the relationship with my ex-spouse, right, as we were building our own family. And it caused a lot of hurt and frustration for all of us, for John and I, and for my ex and his new partner. And, so it took years to get over that, where I think if we had understood a lot of this as we were going through the divorce, when everything was so raw, and then building these new families, it could have really helped a lot of heartache that our kids felt.
Yeah. Well, I like the fact you use that the hot stove metaphor, because that's part of any presentation on positive intelligence is about that feeling of putting your finger on the hot stove. And in any marriage, when you've done that, that when your spouse does, or when you do it, they force your hand on the hot stove, actually. And are you smart enough to take it off rather than keep it there and then, let it blow up into flames? And I find myself in my marriage doing that all the time. I mean, maybe with positive intelligence, I have a little bit more awareness, but that's what basic block of what we're doing in positive intelligence is getting you, first of all, to be aware when you put your hand on that stove and that pain, and then stopping it rather than letting it go.
Exactly. No, it's interesting, but all the experiences we've had with the blended family, we want to impart that wisdom, those learning experiences to other couples. And so that kind of leads us to wanting to help other couples, wanting to coach couples, and figuring out how to do that in an effective manner, using positive intelligence as the basis for kind of moving that coaching in the direction that absolutely is impactful. So it's worked out really well.
So tell me, how do you do those pods? Because Cheryl and I do pods separately, where the men are separate. I handle the men and Cheryl handles the women. We never have a group meeting, but so we go through the full seven meetings, and then we debrief together. But the husbands and wives don't necessarily meet each other or get combined. How do yours work?
Yeah, well, actually, we do one-on-one. But so we take one couple through the program at a time. And then that way, usually it's the man that wants to meet with John and the female that wants to meet with me. But, we're open to whatever, whatever they feel more comfortable with, whomever they feel like meeting with. I would love to do a pod. I hadn't thought really about focusing on just the men and just the women. I always thought it should be couples. And what I found is they're not always comfortable sharing. So if we have the couples together with, 4 other couples, right? Which I would love to do, because what we know about positive intelligence, right? You only have to be 10%, share 10% of being more vulnerable.
Yeah.
So you don't have to tell everybody your whole deep, dark secrets, but it's hard to express that as we're describing the program. And what we know is as people learn more about each other, and they become more comfortable, that's where the magic happens, right? So if couple A, shares something that happened with them, couple B is going to pick up on it. But I think because marriages and relationships are so important, that I think what I've noticed is they feel much more comfortable with the one-on-one if they're going to be together in a pod. Do you agree with that?
Well, the neat thing about coaching is that you don't have to stay on one track. You can look at it as, okay, and every dynamic is different. So you may have one couple that responds to coaching in one particular manner, and another couple that is totally different. And so I think it depends on the individuals and the couple's dynamics. And so and we're early on in this, so I think it's good to hear other mythologies and kind of understand. Okay, maybe we should try this, or maybe with this couple it's going to be a little bit different. And so it's nice to be able to have options. And everybody.
Well, as a coach, I think it's very exciting to try different groups. I've done a group of mixed men and women, not about couples. I've done a tandem coaching where it was all men in my group and all women in Cheryl's group. And then I've done 3 other groups of men only, but just talking about just general issues. And
right.
They all have their pluses and minuses. I like the idea of focusing just on one person. I'm sure they appreciate all that one-on-one attention.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, you talk about putting your hand on the hot stove.
Yeah.
So what did the clients said? I mean, what do they love about the program, or what do they think they got out of it?
I think similar to what we did is, being able to have those conversations, because, we had a conversation this morning where, I was really pushing John, and I could see the stickler just rising up in him, but, being able to recognize that and back down, and it's really helpful for the people that we take through the program to be able to understand that also. And being able to have those conversations, it just shifts your marriage when you can still be mad, you can still be frustrated, but you can work it out, and you have those tools. Yeah.
And if you can own some of those, we don't like to say people are a stickler or are a hyperachiever,
Right.
whatever. They have those saboteurs within them. And if you can respect the other person has that, and they can own it to some degree, just in that also could just ratchet down the pressure and the anger. If you can.
Yeah. The nice thing about positive intelligence, it's so versatile. I use it in teams coaching with the organization I work for. So I'll get a team that's working together, 3 or 4 leaders, and I'll take them through it, and they can being able to relate to each other, even that one iota more, having a little bit better understanding of what makes this person tick, how they're going to react in a certain situation, what they need from you, what you need from them. It gives them a common dialogue, a language that they can utilize. And given how difficult it is to in the workplace today, with all of the dynamics of some all in and some hybrid and some all virtual, it broadens that whole need for coaching and coaches to be able to zero in and ask those right questions and give them the positive intelligence as a tool to move forward. So it's a lot of fun.
Good. Well, we always incorporate a little demonstration of the PQ rep. Now, we haven't talked at all in this conversation about that, but of course, positive intelligence it starts off with the awareness of what is going on with the signal, the whatever it is, the putting the hand on the hot stove, the thing that gets you, riled up or about ready to react.
Yeah.
Then trying to shift into what we call the sage, which is the more wise or sympathetic or thoughtful, or whatever word you want to describe it, to kind of approach that would be more mature. And somewhere in between there is this habit that we learn about doing what is called a PQ rep, which is basically just a tiny meditation and that stops that usual kind of fight or flight response into the negative territory, and hopefully allows your brain to move into something more positive. Maybe you can talk about your own feeling about what the PQ rep stage is and how it works.
You know, what I like about the shorter ones, you know, when people are starting off, so many people say, oh, my brain just won't shut down. I can't focus.
Oh, yeah. The people who talk, the mind chatter, that's
yeah, which I get that. You know, I understand that. So doing it shorter and staying focused, you know, I love this. And I always, when I'm starting with a client, we always talk about rubbing your hands together, listening to the sound, feeling the sensations, because for me, that really helps them focus in on what they're doing and getting out of what their mind is trying to tell them, you know, all that monkey brain. So, but yeah, so in doing them short to begin with, you can find that you can stay more focused when it's shorter, and you know it's going to be short. So it's easier for people to stay focused on the sense of touch, of sound. If you can do the sense of smell, you know, anything that you can do to take your mind off of your mind and focus in on whatever that sensation is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, so would you mind giving a short demonstration? I mean, if anybody out there is having that mind chatter and can't stop their brain from, you know, going like this right now, it's a great exercise, even for a minute or two, really changes how your outlook on the situation.
Yeah, I would love to do that. It might be about 3 minutes if that's okay.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. We can close our eyes. We can do whatever you like to do it.
Yeah, I like to turn my video off. I'll leave it on for today, but I don't want anyone to be distracted. So the first thing I want you to do if you're listening to this is just take that deep breath in, let it out. And then on the next breath in, bring your shoulders all the way up to your ears. And as you exhale, just roll your shoulders back. I'm going to do a body scan. I have my eyes closed now. So as we talk through the different parts of the body, I want you just to focus on that area of the body, feeling almost as if there's a touch, warm water. You might even feel a tingling sensation. So starting with the top of your head, just focus on the sensation of the top of your head. Relax the muscles there. And moving down into your forehead, relax all those muscles. Notice the sensation as this warmth, this energy moves down over your eyelids, around your nose, your cheekbones, even your chin. Focus on the insides of your ears, relaxing all those muscles. As we continue down the front side of our body, we'll go down our front of our throat, relaxing all those muscles, into the shoulders. Feel that warmth, that energy go down your arms, all the way to your elbows, your lower arms, into your wrists and your hands. And then just go through each finger, both hands together, both of your thumbs, pointer finger, your middle finger, your ring finger, and your pinky. Coming back up near our shoulders, we're just going to go down the front of our bodies, feeling our chest relax, your lower rib cage, all the muscles in your stomach. Feel the energy in your hips as it goes down the front of your legs to your kneecaps. Really focusing on that energy as it goes from your knees, down the front of your lower legs into your ankles, the tops of your feet. And again, feel every single toe. Now coming up the backside, we're going to just feel the bottoms of our feet. Notice the sensation as it comes up the back of your legs, the back of your knees, all the way up to where you're sitting. Notice your sit bones. We'll come up the back. Notice your waist. Focus in on your backbone, just going right up your backbone, noticing the energy, the backs of your shoulders, the back of your neck, and just starting from the base of your skull, come up over the back of your head, all the way back to the point that you started. Now, as you take a few more deep breaths, just notice how your body feels. Notice that energy. And when you're ready, just open your eyes and come on back.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always amazing how just how much tension, first of all, how much tension you're holding in your body, and then how it kind of, how much different it feels even after a minute to 3 minutes of a PQ rep.
Yeah, I think so.
And if the thing in doing it is that if you're doing it as intently as you can, all the thinking about, everything else going on in your life today completely goes away. And we don't put a lot of negativity on if your mind, gets sucked back into, oh, what was that sound I heard? Or I'm waiting for a package or whatever it is that you're, the other stresses of the day, but you bring yourself back to clearing your mind and focusing on those sensations.
Yeah. I think that's the most important part, is forgiving yourself for when your mind does drift, right? It's noticing it and bringing it back so that you can focus in on what you're doing, the sensation that you're feeling or the sound that you're hearing.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're doing a pod, well, I guess individual coaching, or are you running pods as well when you're doing the couples one, you're doing one-on-one, but are you doing the regular pods for groups when it's not couples coaching?
Yeah, I mean, I usually do, most of my pods are with women, and so I usually have a rolling pod going probably about every 6 or 8 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And where can people learn more about both of your coaching practices?
So our website is sanderscoachingteam.com, and that's Sanders with a SANDERS. And like I say, John does a lot of leadership coaching. I do more life coaching, but and then together we work on the couples coaching.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, one of my specialties is clinician coaching as well. So I coach physicians and nurses, which is an interesting realm and a much needed area. So yeah, it's challenging, but very fulfilling.
Yeah, I've coached some nursing practitioners, and it's a very, very stressful time.
Right now. Is.
And burnout is such an issue. Anything that can help these poor, beleaguered medical care people is
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. If there's anything else you want to add?
No, well, thank you for having us on here. Yeah, we really enjoyed talking with you and getting
it's always fun and enlightening for me too. And I appreciate your practice with couples. We all have a lot to learn here. And
that's right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Great.
Okay. Again, Paul Vance at GreatDad.com. You can find more about my positive intelligence work at GreatDad.com/PQ. Until next time. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.